Cost peso long. Couple. And here we are. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Let me see here. I didn't pick the best place to come, but we are at the, not because the coffee's not good, because it is very good, but it's very busy, very loud. Um, anyway, we're here. And for some reason, let's see here. Okay, we're all connected up here. Jim, Dale, how you doing? How's everything going? I have a good feeling I am going to enjoy this one. Well, I hope you do. Um, so, like, I mean, you can hear this. Little kids, people. There's a hostel here, and I guess it's very popular. But this coffee shop is right in front of it, and it's very, very busy. When I came in, there's one kid sitting here. So before I get started on what you need to live in Thailand long term, and really it all boils down to one thing, which is no different than being back at home. But before I get into that, some of you know my kid went in for jaw surgery on Friday, and he went in Friday morning. We've been we've been with him the whole time, and Friday night he had the surgery, and they say, oh, it's 3 hours, it'll be done 8 o'clock. We're sitting there, 8 o'clock comes and goes, 9 o'clock comes and goes, it's 10 o'clock, 10:15, the doctor walks out. He says, oh, he's been in recovery for a little while now. He had a little bit of a problem. Thank you, Beason. Thank you very much. Choke D to you. Really appreciate that. Um, so, the doctor tells us, oh, we had a little bit of a problem. And I'm just like going, no, 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 please, Um, basically, what happened is, he was intubated with the tube for anesthesia, and he's waking up. They take the tube out, everything seems fine. And then he starts having some problems breathing. And, they're, well, what do we do? Okay, you put a tube in his nose to help him breathe. But he was, let me think here. It's the we're opposite here. So it's on his left jaw. It started bleeding inside because that's where the bone graft took place. They have to graft a little bit of a bone in the mouth to set the jaw in place. It's called a jaw realignment surgery, which is, it's elective, but if you don't get it done, it can cause a lot of problems in the future. So that's why he's getting it done. Um, but so the jaw was bleeding, and then what happens is the jaw started coming out, and he had a hematoma. It was the jaw was all swollen out, like a couple of inches. So it's like, you know. So what they did was they put a drain in his mouth, and they tried to give it some time to clot, and that's what they put the nose thing in there. And so he's in ICU. He was in ICU until yesterday afternoon. Now he's out, and it seems to be stabilized. Everything's stable, so he's good. Um, but I mean, like we were feeding him yesterday. It's like took an hour and a half to feed him because it's slow going. You just get a little syringe and you're putting a little bit of water in his mouth, a little bit of juice, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So we have a stomach tube and a 10 milliliter uh, syringe, so that when he gets a little bit better, he can do it himself. He can put chocolate milk in there. He can put some Jello in there. He can put all kinds of stuff in there, watered down stuff, and he can just use it and pump it right in. And he did, to his credit, he did say to me, "I'm going to get through this easily, even though the pain sucks ass," which I thought was pretty funny. But so now he's like, Nicholas had commandeered his room. When he moved back into the house, he took his room, and Alex just didn't really want to say anything. Alex was like, "All right, whatever, whatever. I know you can't handle it in the room with no air conditioning. You're not tough enough." And so he told me just a few minutes ago, he goes, "Make sure Nicholas gets out of my room. I don't want him in there. I want to have my peace and quiet so I can heal." So anyway, that's how he's doing. So very good. Now, um, no, it's not just money. Money will get you in trouble, and money is good to have. It's a tool, but it'll get you into trouble. So sorry, that's not what it is. It helps. Don't get me wrong. Definitely helps. Um, right now, the Thai baht is 33.79 to the dollar. The air quality, 194. Yesterday it was 201. Terrible. Temperature, 27 Celsius right now. High at 34, low at 24. Feel like temperature, 29. And in Fahrenheit, 80.6 degrees right now. 93.2 is the high. 75.2 is the low. 84.2 is the feel like temperature. It's starting to get a little bit warm out. Humidity is 76%. And it's going to be sunny for like the next week and a half. That's what the forecast is. So there you go. Now, I'm going to tell you what everything boils down to. Do you need someone else? Do you need someone to help you? Do you need someone to do things for you? And if you do, you are not 100% an expat. You are still living a tourist lifestyle with somebody that's helping you. That's one thing. And I'll tell you how to get there in a minute. Be sure to click like on this stream, on my channel, on the videos, share it, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and look down in the description. There's a host of ways that you can help with the Cash app. You can use the YouTube Super chat, super thanks, just like Beason did. Thank you very much. You can buy me a coffee. You can get some merchandise that's shown below the video window. You can use Patreon Patron. I love Patreon. Or you can get some of my one of my books. So there you go. And down below in the description is a list of the people who I'd like to thank for their support. So there you go. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get into this. What do you need in order to make it here besides money? Because that's the easy way out. I'll throw money at the problem. You can do that. And you know, it does help. You got to have money if you want to be self-sufficient. How are you gonna do anything if you don't have money? And but here's a few things that you need to master and to handle yourself in order to be able to get to the point where you are 100% self-sufficient and you can stay here. Whether, listen, I've been here a long time, and got all these little kids running around. Where are you gonna go? She's all running around. She's trying to go in the back where there's nothing there. There's an ice maker. Um, in order to become self-sufficient, self-sufficient means you don't need your wife, you don't need your girlfriend, you don't need them. If you had nobody, you would survive. You would get by without any problem. And I can tell you, my wife is a huge help to me. I mean, I'm not going to discount the fact that she is a help to me, but that's what she is. She's a help. I don't need her. I don't need her to go shopping for me. I don't need her to go and buy things for me. I don't need her to go out and get the best price for things. I don't need it. I do it myself. And if you're not doing that by yourself now, and I'll sorry, Dowlo, I'll point to you. Dowlo's wife does a lot of the things for him. Thank you. In the past, Jono, and even now, he's not really 100% self-sufficient, but he's almost there. He's starting to learn Thai, so that helps. That's one of the things that you need to do. I see a lot of codependency here. Well, I mean, I understand you want a little bit of help. Oh, my wife is such a big help to me. I mean, listen, my wife helps. She cleans the house. She cleans the dishes. She helps me sometimes. I need to go get something and maybe I need some help bringing it back or whatever it is. She helps me with stuff like that. But do I need her to go to the market and get something and make sure I get the best price? No, I get better prices than she does sometimes. And in fact, I'm the one who's going to handle everything in the hospital because I don't let them get away with jack shit. They give us a price, that's the price. With the ties, they will, thank you. With the ties will just go, oh, that's the way it is, okay. Many of them, that's what they'll do. They'll just accept everything. Oh my God. I'm so glad that my kids are grown up, honestly. They're running around just with their little muffins in their hand, having fun. I don't miss that. I didn't say be a cheap spender. Not at all. I would say don't be cheap here. Search for the value. That's what you need to do. Look for the value. If the value isn't there, what do you come here for? And one of the videos that I'm going to make in the future is, are you here for the value or are you here for the cheap prices? Because if you're here for the cheap prices, you're in the wrong place. Seriously. If you think Thailand is cheap, listen, everybody's like, oh, well, back in America, it's this way and that way. Okay. Yes, inflation has kicked in America and it's kicked people's asses. Hopefully, inflation will go down in the near future. But the point is that the gap between Thailand and the United States, it's closed. And right now you have a lot of, how can I say it? You have a lot of different kind of tourists in Thailand. You have tourists from China, India, um, Russia. They're not from America. They're not mainly from America, not from Britain. They're not from Australia. Some are, of course. So the demographic has changed quite a bit. So I'm going to give you right now. I'm going to give you. Let me see how many is this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to give you 7 reasons. 7 things. I'm going to give you 7 things you should concentrate on if you want to stay here a long time. And a long time means 20, 30, 40 years, like me. Number 1, if you have income, it's smart to have multiple income streams. Now, obviously, depends on what your income stream is. I mean, if you've got something from the government and you're making $3, $4, $5,000 a month, you're probably safe. But if you got some, I know people that have pensions and they're making 400. One guy's making about $200 a month, and it's not all that stable. Well, that's first of all, that's not gonna cover his expenses. He has Social Security also. That helps. Obviously, that's a good thing. You want 4 or 5, at least 3 or 4 income streams, so that if one of them fails, you can go, okay, I'm still fine. I'm not going to be bad off. I'm not going to be suffering. That's the wise way to get to self-sufficiency. Another thing is to be fairly healthy and to be insured or have plenty. I don't mean $100,000 because that's not plenty. That's only about 2.5 million baht. You can go through that in one incident. I mean, yes, okay, you'll be okay for that, but what happens if it's recurring? What happens if it's chronic? What happens if you have another problem? You have a stroke, and then 2 years down the line, you have another stroke. So you either have plenty of money, which is like, to me, a couple of million. You got a couple of million in the bank, or you have insurance. I mean, it's very simple. And I know a lot of people that don't have insurance. Um, another thing, and I've said this a million times, speak Thai. And I used to say, oh well, just a little bit. The thing is that the better you speak it, the more entrenched you will be in society. I go places, I do things. I don't feel like this is a foreign country to me. Really. Yes, I know there is a us versus them. I know I'm not going to be Thai. And I see that when I see tourists. I go, oh wow, big difference between the tourist and Thais. Well, guess what? There's a difference between me and the Thais also. However, that difference narrows the more that you learn how to speak the language, the more that you mesh with the society. So I think that's important. This place is full now. It's called Tang Cafe and Bar. The other thing, don't be a jackass. Don't get yourself in a predicament. Don't go out there and go, oh, I'm going to get myself a girl. And then you go into a bar, you pull a girl. She's like, well, I want 50,000 baht a month. You're only pulling in 80. You're like, okay, baby, I'll give you whatever you want. So stupid. Why do you have to give them anything? I understand it's a family. You got to contribute. But I mean, just outright handing them money. Oh well, she's really good looking. Yeah, and if you got your shit together and you're really smart, basically you're gonna pay your share and maybe then some. You're gonna be a man. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna stand up and pay for what you need to pay for, and that doesn't mean going and buying her a car and a house and all this stuff. I mean, maybe depending on what your situation is, you can. That will help. But other than that, you know, hey Jim, yes, learning the language makes a big difference. And people don't understand it. Even my wife doesn't really understand it. I think the bottom line is you need there are several things that I'm getting into. Common sense is a given. If you don't have common sense, you're going to fail no matter where you are. I mean, if you're not self-sufficient, you're not gonna last back in the United States. You're not gonna last in England. You're not gonna last in Australia. You're not gonna last anywhere. You got to have some sense of self-worth and value and be self-sufficient, no matter what it is. And what gets me right now is all the young guys coming over. All these guys, I see it on YouTube all the time. I'll just be looking at YouTube, and the next thing I know, I see some guy and I go, I never heard of this guy before. I never heard of this guy before. I never heard of that guy before. And they've been in Thailand for 3 months, and they're like talking about how this is what you do. You do this and you do that. They're just scratching the surface. You know what? Remember these words from me, okay? Whether you like me or not, I don't care. But remember these words. Bangkok, Thailand in general, is like an onion. And you can peel away a layer and you go, oh, yes, now I know. But you don't. You got to peel another layer. And you go, oh, wow, so that's how it is. And then you peel another layer. Before you know it, you're peeling all kinds of layers and you're going, wow, there's so much, it's so detailed. And listen, even me, I mean, I've been here a long time. Think about it. And I'm not just saying that to pat myself on the back, but I have been. And I don't know everything. And I forget a lot. Truly. I forget a lot. And I have to go, oh, wait a minute. I have to look it up. And then it jogs my memory. And then I remember, what's cheap in Thailand is living cheap, frugal life, but luxury items cost as much or others than in the U.S. The more you peel it, the more it stinks. I didn't say that. I didn't say the more it stinks. Just you got to go layer by layer by layer, and you'll get to know more and more and more. You get to the heart of the onion. And as far as the luxury items, I mean, I don't know very many luxury items. I don't know very many luxury items that you're going to get here that are cheaper than in the West. If I go in and buy a Hugo Boss shirt, it's going to be expensive. If I go buy Gucci, if I go buy Prada, if I go buy some kind of cologne by, some whatever designer it is, Gucci, Armani, that it's going to be the same price or more. And I've said this a lot. And then I made the case that if you want to buy a Casio watch here, a lot of times the Casio watches here are more expensive than in the US, than what you see on the internet. But by the time they'll say, oh, we don't ship there, or we do, but you got to pay the import fees. And so by the time it gets here, you're paying more than everybody else. And then somebody said, oh, well, you can just get a watch off the street. Okay, we're not talking about that. I'm not talking about being so goddamn cheap that you're getting piss poor quality, or you're getting quality that is marginal. I'm talking about having a decent life here. And I'll say it, I have a decent life here. I mean, it's pretty damn good most of the time. You know, it's that simple. I'm not living like one of these guys who has to go off on the side of the road and pick oranges because you want something to eat. Oh, I'm going to save some money because I get to pick these oranges. Which I've had people write me and say that kind of stupid shit. Oh, there's farms and I can just stop on the side of the road and pick the fruit and the vegetables from them and I can eat. That's stealing. Hang on here. I hate these kind of espressos. They don't give me a shot glass. Look at this. That is not an espresso. Sorry. They get marked down a point for this. An espresso is in a shot glass, one or two shots. Marginal. The cappuccino was very good. All right, now let's just continue here. Um, for another thing you got to do, it's just like the learning to speak Thai. And honestly, I would say when you learn to speak Thai, learn to read it. Learn to read it and even learn to write it a little bit. But if you learn to read it, that will help you immensely. Believe me, if you can read Thai, it will help you because guess what? You go into a restaurant, there's no prices, there's no nothing. You can look at the well, here's the thing too. For all the foreigners that are allowed in, even if there's only a small percentage of them, guess what? The news is going to be on those problems that happen between the Thai and the foreigner, between the foreigner and the foreigner. That's what's going to happen. News sells. That's why they do that. And, it's just the way that it is. Frankly, and I hate to say this, and I said this before, I personally think the tourism situation is already out of hand. The Thais are having problems because of the number of tourists. And if it increases, I said 50 million, but let's say it goes to 40 million. I think they're going to start seeing problems, a lot of problems. But the government doesn't care about that because they want the money. They're able to go, oh, we had 40 million tourists and we made this much money. They don't talk about all the problems. And, listen, you can talk about the problems if you want, or you don't have to. If you're a tourist and you come here and you have a good time, good for you. But I'm not a tourist. And I don't care what any expat says to me. I'm not going home because I'm stating some problems. There are problems here. There are problems everywhere. So just get used to it. This is not utopia. This is not a paradise. It's bullshit. I don't know who Ramsey is. Well, I don't think that's correct, Robert. That's rubbish. Well, yeah, I don't know who that is. Um, Listen, Tim, there are expats misbehaving everywhere. I think if you look at Pattaya, um, if you look at Pattaya, that's where a lot of foreigners go. You look at Chiang Mai, that's where a lot of foreigners go. Look at Hua Hin, that's where a lot of foreigners go. Now, Pattaya seems to have the most amount of problems. And it's going to be in the news every day. Somebody jumped, somebody beat somebody up, somebody got into a fight. It's always going to be in the news. And I'm not saying that Pattaya is a great place. I personally don't like the place very much. To me, uh, I mean, I can go there and have a good time because of my frame of mind. Now, if my wife said we're going to go live on Beach Road, I'd be like, what? No, no, no. Well, that may be true, but that's not reflective of all the foreigners in Thailand. There are some very intelligent, uh, hardworking, rich foreigners living in Thailand. So to say that um, the people here, everybody who doesn't fit in back home, listen, I fit in fine. I had a business. I just was like, you know what? I'm running this business here. I'm busting my ass every day. Yeah, okay. Once in a while, I get to go out to dinner with my girl, below $200 on a dinner, buy a bottle of champagne for $100. I was like, is this what life is about? And I went, no, it's not. To me, it's I want to see the world. I want to see things. I want to experience. I want experiences. Now, she didn't want those experiences because she was like, oh my God, what am I going to go to Thailand for? They don't even speak English. Okay, then don't come. That's what I told her. I said, I'm going. I don't care if you're going or not. I'd like you to go, but you don't want to go. Okay. And she didn't go. She wanted to go to France. She wanted to go to Monaco. I said, we can go to Monaco later. I want to go to Thailand. So, that was how I took that. I ended it because I want to do my thing. And, I didn't think I'm coming over to Thailand. Oh, I'm going to get myself a girl. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I didn't do that. And I definitely didn't think, oh, I got to get myself a girl so that I can live here in Thailand. That's just stupid. They're the icing on the cake. They're not the cake. The other thing that you really need to know, which I was talking about, just like the language, is the visa rules. You got to have a good grasp of the visa rules and the terminology. I know some guys, they go, oh, I'm going to get my visa renewed. No, you're not getting your visa renewed. You've already had your visa renewed 3 times. You're getting a stay of extension. And you may not think it's a big deal, but you know what? When you go into immigration and you talk to immigration, they're going to go, what are you talking about? You already, I mean, it's little things like that. You need to learn that, nail it down. You need to figure it out. Now, I see all these guys coming over on that, what is it called? Digital nomad visa. I've looked at the requirements. It is a little bit loud. When I came in, there was really only one person here. Thank you. Popcorn. All right, good. Popcorn. Um, yeah, so you got to have a grasp on the visas and all the things that you need to do legally. I don't know what my kid is talking about. Kid just wrote me. Um, the other thing doing, and this is also not rocket science, but you know what? You'd be surprised at how many people live beyond their means. They live well beyond their means. So this is another thing you need to do. Live within your means. Well, the only setup is this. See this? That's the setup. I didn't know it, but but this microphone is the battery lasts like 10 hours. I was like, are you kidding me? That's fantastic. Now, I'd like to get one of these where I have 2 or 4 microphones, but this is fine for now. I have one that has 2. Hang on one second there. The mic is very good at suppressing background noises. Well, that's good to know. I'm very happy about that. All right, let's see here. So I guess what I was saying is some people will come and they will just, I mean, think about it. They come, they got, let's say you got 500,000 baht in the bank, and you figure you're going to stay here for a year. Now, what do you want to know? You're going to stay here for a year, right? You got 500,000. That's only about 40,000 a month, a little bit more. Now, the first 2, 3 months, you meet a girl, you go, oh, wow, fantastic, man. You're living within your means. You meet her, all of a sudden you start spending 80,000 a month. People do that all the time. I did it in the beginning. That's how I ended up going back to America, trying to earn money to come back. And I did. I got lucky, very, very lucky. I mean, I was super lucky, really. Because I was like, holy shit, what am I going to do? And I just happened to pick Seattle as the place to go. I'd never been there, never been to Seattle in my life. But I said, I'm going to go to Seattle because I think at the time it had the most jobs available. I don't know why everybody's talking about this. Have you heard the government say anything, Tim? Or have you just heard vloggers on YouTube talking about it? Because I haven't heard a damn thing, and I'm not paying any taxes on what income comes into Thailand. Nothing. And you don't have to. Nobody said a damn word about it. Oh, it just irritates me to no end. People are, oh God, I've got to pay taxes. I'm going to go get my tax ID. I have a tax ID. And guess what? I don't have to pay taxes. First of all, I'm not paying on my Social Security. I can tell you that right now. I don't have to I can only bring in, if I really want, I can just bring in the Social Security, and all the other money that I have, I can pay with a credit card. I can do whatever I want with it. There's all kinds of ways. But the bottom line is I'm not some guy who's got, I'm bringing in $300,000, every 6 months or something. And I dare say that if you're hearing this on YouTube, forget about it. When you see the law that says, hey, buddy, you've got to, in order to get your visa, you're going to have to pay taxes, then I would worry. Right now, I wouldn't worry about it. Well, I wish it were that easy. I don't want to spread false information. And, I've been saying this from the beginning. Why on earth would you pay taxes? Oh, I'm going to go get a tax ID so I can pay my taxes. No, but where have you heard the government say all these foreigners need to start coughing up the money? You haven't heard it from anybody. So why would you pay? When you hear the government say, hey, guys, hey, you expats out there, start paying up if you are here more than 180 days. That's when I go, you know what? No, first of all, I'm not paying. I'll challenge it. Just because of the sources of income and all this other kind of stuff and the dual tax tree and all this stuff, I will challenge it. And second of all, guess what? If I got to pay taxes, I'll probably pay it one time and then I'll be like, all right, listen, half the year I'm out of here. I'm not going to be here. I have to work something out with the wife. That's all. It's as simple as that. If you are there for more than 180 days, Well, that's because technically you are working here. Who went on a tangent? I didn't go on a tangent. I just think that the requirements for it are not what most digital nomads can make. They don't make enough money. Most of them don't have enough money. And they try to figure out how to get in, skewing the system, which that's kind of the Thai way. I understand that. But okay, come in on it. Go ahead, do it. And listen, that's why, you know what? I don't care. Really, I don't care about. I mean, it's nice to get subscribers. I like that. Okay, keep subscribing. I really like that. I get more and more subscribers. Good deal. I'm a small channel. I'm not making big money from YouTube at all. I wish I was, but I'm not. So the bottom line is that most people are not making big money from YouTube, from Instagram, from social media. They're not. All these kids you see coming over here, some of them are making a little bit of money, but they're not making a huge amount. Huge to me is like 10 grand a month and up. That's good money, especially here. Then what you need to do, you need to spend, $2,000-3,000 a month and save the rest. So that you have a problem, you saved up a couple $100,000 by the time things go south. But I don't think that, I don't know. I think that there are other ways. Thank you, Tim. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Now let me see something here. So slow today. I don't know why this is so slow. As I was saying, it's very simple. If you have $3,000 come in, you don't spend $3,000. You spend 2,800, 2,500. What you spend under. If you're not sure how much you come in, you guess at the low amount. Hey, I think I'm going to make between $2,500 and $4,000. Okay, act like you make $2,500 and go under that. It's like simple. I've got in this envelope $1,000. I'm going to spend 2,000. No, you're not. You're going to spend no more than 1,000. And really, you shouldn't spend that so that you have a little buffer for the next month. All right, so that's the sustainable lifestyle. And, stop making bad decisions. You guys out there who, I know that, that none of my people are like this, or not very many of them are, because they've heard me preach it a million times. Don't get emotionally involved with a bar girl. How simple is that? The man with the gold makes the rules. That's you. Simple. Look at this. This is not a face that is like, oh, I'm so handsome and all the girls just fall over me. No, they don't. But you know what? Nobody ever thought this guy's a dummy. He's going to give me all his money. They might have tried it once, and then when I put them in their place, that was the end of it. Either that was the end with them, or they never tried again. Band boys make around 2,000, not counting super chats, and that's barely enough to support what he does. He's cheap, $15 nuts. Well, I mean, listen, he's young. But guess what? All it takes is something to go south for not to make that 2,000 in a month. Maybe he makes 800 in a month. And if he doesn't have any savings, then where is he? Back home in a van? I don't know. I like to look at it very conservatively because I think that's what you need to do especially if you're a YouTuber, man. Come on. YouTuber is just like boxing. It's just like being a musician. My kid plays music. At one point, he was very good. But guess what? It's the triangle. Everything's about the triangle. This is the reverse triangle. The triangle like this. At the top, that's where all the people make the big money. And guess what? Down here, on the bottom, on the base, That's where all the people make very little money. And there's a huge number who make very little money. There's some people like van boys, they $2,000 a month is shit. It's nothing. You can spend that very easily. I mean, easily. And living in a $15 a night, 500 baht a night hotel. Okay, it's being frugal. I understand. It's a good thing. But what are you going to do? You're going to live like that your whole life? I hope he gets, 10 million subscribers so that he doesn't have to do that. Because I wouldn't want to do it. And I've done it, you know. So I think, well, I mean, look at some of the people. I don't even want to name any names. Look at it that way. Look at who is on YouTube, who's been on YouTube from Thailand for more than 10 years, more than 5 years. And you will see the number that have been 10 and up, very few. The number that are, say, 5, it's not only me, there are other people, but nowhere near as many as people just coming out. Oh, hey, man, I got myself an apartment in Thailand. Woo, I live in Thailand. This is the thing. I know many people who come here and they tell me they're living here. And then I start talking to them and I ask them a few questions. Most are living like a tourist. They're living like a tourist. Some of them don't even have apartments or houses, townhouses, condos, whatever. They're living in a hotel. Oh, that's what I want to do. Okay, go ahead then live in a hotel. I mean, in some ways, a hotel can be a great place. You don't pay utilities, but I mean, in many ways, it's not the way to live. And you remember, I met the guy down in Canoe. The place where I was staying was a guest house, but it was just like a bunch of little one-bedroom bungalows. And he stayed in one of them. He got a good price on it. He stayed there, and he was like, okay, great. He had himself a little motorbike. He had his needs met. He didn't have to, scrounge by and go, oh my God, where am I going to stay? What am I going to do now? How am I going to eat? Piece of cake, man. You get it down, you nail it down, then you don't live like a tourist. And that doesn't mean living like, you can't say, oh, go live like a local. Oh, really? What kind of local? A poor local? A middle income local? A rich local? How do you want to live? You want to live like a farmer? Is that how you want to live? I mean, listen, my wife was, I would say, probably lower middle income when she was young, even low income. She told me about how she had to, there was a time when they didn't have any money. And she was like, she didn't know if she was going to be able to go to school. So she went to a friend's house, worked at the house so she could live there. And then it was close to the school and she would go to the school. And because she knew, she was smart enough to know an education is what can help you get ahead. And many people in the neighborhood, they just worked on the rubber farms and did their thing. And now, they're doing the same thing. So she's the one, and I'm the one who take care of the farm in the South. And we're the ones who have people working for us. I don't want to go down there and break my back doing all that stuff. I'm too old. I may not be that old, but I'm too goddamn old to be picking fruit from trees. And not only that, I don't want to be considered working because I'm picking some fruit, which, maybe that would happen, maybe it wouldn't. I would say in all likelihood that wouldn't happen there. But, we got plenty of fruit, plenty of vegetables. And she just said to me the other day, she goes, we got to hurry up and get this durian planted so that we can get fish and chicken. Now we have plenty. It's a nice property. We have all this stuff. I don't care. It's farming. To me, it doesn't matter. Why? Because it's about my needs and some of my wants. If I really want, I could go, oh, I want a Lamborghini. I'll take a McLaren. But do I really need them? Do I really care? I don't care. It doesn't make a difference. Oh, I'm going to get this better looking chick. I don't care. I don't want that kind of a girl. Once you get settled in and start living a Thai lifestyle, the money goes a lot further, and we are able to use the house as a staging point for travel and have the luxury to travel on it. Yeah. I mean, that's true. Let me see something here. Okay. Let me go on here. Because I can get into this a little bit more, and I haven't really dove very deep. Let me see here. About the banking. You want to keep money here in Thailand, and you also want to keep it abroad. And, I've said this to so many people. Get a bank account. It's just like, you know what? If you're here, get a damn phone if you live here. If you plan on living here part-time, okay, then, keep your your Verizon account and put it on roaming if that's what you want to do. Then you can do that. Start with strawberries and then work your way to those bananas, Cheech and Chong. Well, we already got strawberries and we already got bananas. We already got papaya, mango. We got all this stuff. So somebody asked me the other day, how much is the price per kilo of mangoes? I was like, I really don't know because I almost never buy them. It's 20 to 50 baht per kilo. But you know why I don't buy them? Because we get boxes of them sent to us. I don't have to pay for them. Yeah, well, I mean, you're a human being, you're a person, and of course, um, you know, things change as you change. Yeah, what's your lifestyle goals, Jim? I've already said, I got a ticket to Japan, I got a ticket to Tibet. Thank Buddha. Okay, that's great. I get to go. Oh, wow. I want to see my parents. I want to get a ticket at the end of the year, beginning of next year, to go see them, whether it's with the family or without the family. I'd like to go with the family. And what else do I have in goals? Okay, listen, we work on the farm down in the south, save a little money. Um, and move to a place that doesn't have as much pollution as Bangkok. Because eventually Nicholas will finish school. His jaw will heal up and he'll find a job. And then we go, listen, you know, this is what we're going to do. We're going to figure things out. Maybe they'll live in the house where we have right now and we'll move somewhere else. I don't know. This is why it all takes time. And everybody's like, oh, well, why don't you go then? Go? What do you want me to do? You want me to leave my family behind? You know what I'm saying? Okay, Eddie Money. But like I was saying, listen, you have a bank account in the US, well, get a bank account in Thailand. Get Wise. Get Revolut. Get one of these, these companies so that you can transfer your money back and forth easily. Do what you have to do. If you know I'm gonna die in Thailand, plan it out. Get a will. If you don't have a family, this is the thing too. A lot of guys are like, oh, I don't want a wife here. I don't want, oh no, it's okay. I don't need a girl. Okay. But you know, when you get to that point where it's hard to take care of yourself and you're going to need help, you're not going to have anybody, or you're going to have to pay for it. That's how it works. Which, you know, in my case, I already know I have a family. They'll help me. But I'm not at the point now where I need any help. That's the thing. I'm 62. I don't need any help. I'm hoping I make it until at least 80. After 80, okay, maybe I can't do some of the things and they help me with things. Okay, I understand that. Even now, I don't have to do certain things because of my age and my status, not only with the family, but in Thai society. I don't have to do certain things. Ooh, chipmunk. No, 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 a squirrel. I had wanted to do motorbike, old car restoration. I also wanted to document travel via YouTube, the legalities and availability resources to do automatic. I've thought about that, Jim. I don't have the money right now I don't want to free up any money that I have, because it would basically be all the free money that I have to be able to work on restoring motorcycles, because that's all I had in the United States was motorcycles. I think I had 2 cars at some point in my life there, 2 or 3, but I had like 10 motorcycles. I thought, oh, well, I'll buy myself a Norton here. You know, I'll get a Triumph or whatever, and I'll rebuild it. Okay, it's going to cost you some money. Then you're going to have to resell it and hope you can resell it, which, okay, you should be able to, but can you get the price that you want for it? Are you going to make money on it? You know, that's the question. So get a bank, set everything up, do what you got to do. Um, I hate to say this. If you should think about where you're headed in your life. Are you the kind who you're mellow, you got everything you need, you're happy, and you don't have a girl? You just get a girl once in a while, you know, satisfy that itch, and that's fine. Okay, good. But just think about the future. What's going to happen in the future? If you're the kind who doesn't do well alone, well then, you know, make a good sound choice. Don't pull some chick from a bar. Oh, you know, she only was working there for 3 days. She was my kind of girl. So quiet. She was quiet because you don't speak any Thai. She's quiet because her English is shit. She's quiet because she doesn't want you to know what she's thinking. Really, I mean, think about it. I know that relationships with some bar girls have worked out. Usually they're more experienced guys who've been around the block once or twice, or guys like from Sweden or somewhere in Australia or somewhere. They're out in the middle of nowhere and they got plenty of money, plenty of dough. Um, Now, if you're going to get married, you damn sure better make sure that you got a handle on your finances, because you don't want to give her all the money, so that if by chance, and you know, I think with some women it's very, very slim it happens, but maybe they go out and they find another guy and they go, you know what, I don't want to be with this guy anymore. But they've got all your money in their bank account. And they're like, no, 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 I don't want to give it back because you know what, you've been with me for all this time, so you owe me. That's how some of them think. They think you owe them. Once I found that healthcare options here are more reasonable, I have chosen to invest in elective surgery, specifically a lot of dental items. Not next on the docket is LASIK. Yeah, for the most part. I'm covered in the United States, but then I'm like, do I really want to go back for that? Do I want to go back for 2 or 3 weeks, and all the time that I'm spending is going back and forth to the VA? You know, and I met a girl. Well, she was a guy that I know. He passed away from cancer a few years ago, and she remarried. and she's married to a guy who's a veteran. Well, this veteran has 100% disability. So he's making money. He gets money and he gets coverage. And she's telling me how, oh, my kids can get coverage, or they get some money for school, and I can get money. I get like $300 a month. She goes, you can do it too. And I go, no, I can't do it. I don't have a disability that limits me. I don't have that. I never had that, and I don't want to try to have that. First of all, I've been out for a long time, but I don't want that. You know, if something really seriously happened to me, then I would take advantage of everything that was offered to me. But I'm not going to do it just to do it. So you got to think about that. You know, what are you're going to get health insurance here? Okay, what's the coverage like here? Is it a lot better, a lot cheaper? In my case, it is. Here's something that maybe with the exception of one or two times, I have been very good at dodging. And that is that many expats are bitter, they're broke, or they're running from something. You know, you should watch who you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with people, hey man, you know, can you give me 10,000 baht? I'll give it back to you on Friday. You know, like Wimpy. You know, I mean, you need that kind of person around you? No, I don't. I don't want that kind of person around me, always bugging me for money. You know, you need self-sufficient friends, just like you need to be self-sufficient yourself. You should be somewhat positive. I view myself as a realist. I'm not always positive. I try to be positive, but I also like to look at the negatives and, you know, consider things that are negative. I had somebody write me, and I think I'm going to do a video about this at some point. He wrote me and said, listen, the things now that you complain about are the same things 30 years ago. No, they're not. I'm sorry. They're not. Some things may have some similarities, yes. But guess what? It's been going on for 30, 40 years, and they haven't changed. Why not? How much intelligence does it take to say, why have we not fixed this problem yet? Because this is Thailand. Yeah, that might be why. It might be because this is Thailand. Anyway, stay out of the drama. Don't get involved in the expat drama. If you're going to have a business, be smart about how you have a business. I would not start a bar. That is a good way to lose all your money. And even YouTube, you're not going to make all that much money. You're not going to get rich. You're not going to go, well, when I started YouTube, I had nothing. And I started with a phone. Now I've got 15 people working for me and 20 cameras, and I make $700,000 a month. Show me that. And all this drop shipping and print on demand. Let me tell you something. I think probably the most I've ever made from print on demand from my shirts and stuff like that. I probably made $300 a month. That's probably the most I've made. $400 a month at the most. You want to get a business here? Guess what? You're going to have a Thai partner. And you want to start a restaurant? You better know your business, because most restaurants fail. And if you come here and you decide, I'm starting a business, I know I can make a restaurant, you know, like a U.S. themed restaurant. Oh, yeah, I can make it like, you know, like Laguna Beach or whatever it is. Most of the time they fail. Guest houses. I'm going to make a little Airbnb, well, not Airbnb. What is it? Bed and breakfast. Down on the water. Well, guess what? It's seasonal. So you need to take account into all these things. And, you know, listen, I'll say this right away. A bar is a bad idea, because you got to be the kind of person who loves drama if you're going to get involved with a bar. And you don't mind losing money. So the best thing really for people here is rental properties, some kind of digital marketing or tourist related work from the other end, and maybe teaching, but not really English, because teaching English is, well, you may think that the Thai level of English is still rather poor, and it is. It's a lot better than it used to be. And it's not as easy to get a job teaching English anymore. When I got hired, I walked in and said, I'll do the best I can. I won't come in drunk and I won't come in late. Boom, you're hired. That was how easy it was for me. Foreign themed restaurants here are failure. Seen several come and go despite really good quality. Making improvements to our home improvement. I should have documented what I accomplished. Well, I would say, the simple fact that you have pride in it, that should be enough for you. Now, if you document it, okay, that's great. But if you don't, oh well. Really. I think about it all the time. I think, hey, you know what? Do I really want to make a video about this place? Because do I really care? I just want to see what's going on here and have a good time. Now, because of Alex's surgery, I have not had the time to edit that I had before. So I put everything on hold, like Pata Zoo. That place is a shithole. I mean, from the standpoint of it's on the roof of a department store and it's not out on 100 acres of land. That's what I mean by that. Okay. um let's see here, what else. This is the business. Oh yeah, well, health and longevity. Get health insurance. If you go through the government, it's cheap but slow services. You're going to get private, then it's faster and better hospitals. And like I said, you only self-insure if you have plenty of dough to cover the emergencies, because one accident can wipe you out. Thai food can be very healthy. It's definitely not always spicy. But I would say nowadays, there's a lot of places in Thailand that concentrate on drinks that are loaded with sugar and fried foods. Think about all the bubble tea and the coffees that have loads and loads of sugar in them. I mean, way too much. At the very least, walk, which is what I do now. I'm walking. You do yoga. You can lift weights. You can do Muay Thai. There's all kinds of things you can do. I would say if you're going to do Muay Thai, make sure you're a little bit younger, and if you're older, take time into working into it. Don't just try to do everything and say, "Yeah, I'm the man," because that's not how it works. You're not going to get to that level. Um, and in some cases, you can go to other hospitals in different countries and the prices are lower than what they are here. However, Bangkok, Pattaya, Chiang Mai, they all have world-class facilities. And let's see here. Oh, yes. Buying is not always a smart option. Renting gives you flexibility in case things change. If you're going rural, consider solar panels, rainwater collection, and gardening to cut reliance on utilities. There you go, Jim. Solar panels, rainwater collection. Bangkok, Phuket, Pattaya tend to be more expensive, but they have a lot more opportunities in that area. Chiang Mai and Isan are cheaper and quieter, but less income sources. The coastal areas, Khanom, Prachuap, Rayong, it's a good balance, especially if you work remotely. I already got into the language. Even basic fluency helps you cut costs and avoids misunderstandings. Uh, Not knowing the language, oh man, I think about all the headaches I used to have. I'd go in someplace and I'd be like, I don't know what they're saying. And that's when you're relying on somebody else. You got to bring somebody else in to act as an interpreter for you, you know. An entire day, Jim, you can spend days, a weeks editing one video. Seriously. Um, and remember that here, face, status, and respect matter. I hate to tell you, but you need to know when to shut your mouth and be humble and when to stand your ground. Now, I can tell you in hospitals, I stand my ground. I'm very polite, very matter of fact. I don't get emotional. I don't get all fired up because it gets you nowhere. If you just say, no, that's not what we agreed on. I'm sorry. Then they're like, they don't, they got to try to figure out how to take care of the situation because you're not all emotional. Um, don't just hang out with Westerners because if that's what you do, you're not going to integrate into the society. You need to learn how Thais think. I mean, my wife's family, I'm somewhat close to them. There's a lot of Thais that I know and I hang out with once in a while. People that my wife works with. Now, most of the people, because I'm not working, I'm not going to work like I used to. I know a lot of people through her. Yeah, and getting aggressive with Thais is the worst way um, for you to handle the situation because they shut you out. They shut down. A lot of them won't say anything. They'll just be like, and you can talk to them and talk to them and talk, say something over and over and over again, and you're mad at them. They'll be like, walk away from you, or the best way is to keep your calm and figure out how they're thinking and try to handle the situation just like a Thai would. Now, I'll be honest. I mean, I try to do that all the time. I'm not always successful. Sometimes inside I get really pissed off, but I know enough now not to get pissed off because it doesn't get you anywhere. But if you continually question them without getting pissed off, you can get some progress made. All right, like I said before, the visas, you got to learn about the visas: the marriage visa, elite visa, retirement visa, education visa, business visa, digital visa. Oh my lord. Elite visa. Did I say that? Marriage visa, elite visa, retirement visa, education visa, business visa, media visa. That's what I had before, a media visa. And you need to understand Thai laws. You don't want defamation charges levied against you. You understand you cannot own land. You can own condos. And running a business without a work permit is illegal. Simple, yeah? I would think so. And then, like I said already, I've already talked about this financial independence. You got to have it. You got to have it. You got to be smart with your money. You got to live beneath your means. It's not all that difficult. Now, if you have multiple income sources, you understand the visa and legal rules, you speak Thai fairly well, and you choose a sustainable lifestyle, not a tourist lifestyle. You try to take good care of your health and you are insured or you have plenty of money in the bank. You avoid bad financial decisions and expat traps like bar girls. That's a trap. She's a trap. The triangle is a trap. And you have emergency backup plans, plan B, plan C. What can you do? Well, then the likelihood of you thriving is much better than just surviving here, because you don't want to just survive here. That's ridiculous. Well, if you got to ask me, then you have no clue. You're like oblivious. How to get a work permit? Well, first of all, you have to have a job that you're allowed to have in Thailand. You got to have a position. Then you got to go to, you get your visa, the proper visa, go to. I find it insulting. I can't get a visa unless I'm. No, that's not true. You're so wrong, buddy. I hate to tell you that. The problem is you don't have the qualifications to get a visa. If you're not 50, you don't have any other ways. That's on you. It's not on them. Yeah, so what? There's other visas available. You just can't get it. I understand. Now, in my day, I did it. You can get other visas, you know. Well, then you ought to be able to get a job. I mean, at least you can teach English somewhere, you know. And if you can't, or you don't, it's probably because you don't want to, or you just don't know how to apply and how to get a job here. You don't know. That's the thing. What I used to say, I don't really say it now because I think it's a bit different, a little bit different. I used to say, if you have enough money for a year and you come here, if he came here and he learned how to speak some Thai, made connections, networked, I would say after 6 months with a master's degree, you should be able to get a job. Now, you may not make that much money. Who knows? What is this? If it's either old or work, I don't have to or want to work. Well, guess what? You don't want to work, then get an elite visa. If you don't want to work, get an elite visa. I don't know what else to tell you. It's not any different here than it is in any other country. Or if you want, go to Cambodia. You pay $290 and you get yourself a retirement visa. You can do whatever you want there. I don't know what the age is. There an age on that? I don't know. There are other visas there also. Same with Vietnam. $60. Let me see here. Let me see. 55. 55. Yeah, you got to be 55 in Cambodia. So, Vandy Dandy, your argument is not much of an argument. If you got a master's from Vanderbilt, you should have no problem finding a job. Below 50 people, what? Below 50 people would be complaining. So what? What does it matter if somebody's complaining? You think the government cares if you're complaining? Dude, find another way. There are plenty of ways. You just don't like the ways. You think it should be easy for you. Well, if it's easy, pay for an elite visa. Okay, pay for an elite visa. Jesus Christ. Everybody thinks everything should be handed to them. Listen, I hate to tell you. I'm here because I'm legal, because I've made my way here. Not because somebody said to me, okay, Scott, you can come into the country. We'll let you stay. Don't worry. Nobody gave a shit about me or anybody else that comes in here and that wants to live here. That's how immigration works. They go, do you have meet the requirements? Yes. Okay. Boom, you're here. Oh, okay. Well, then don't. What do you want me to say? What do you think? It's different elsewhere? Okay, go to Philippines. Get a 3-year visa in the Philippines. Live in the Philippines. Go somewhere else. Go to Ecuador. I mean, you have options. I don't want to hear that. You have options. If you don't want to live in Thailand, then, I mean, you're going to have to do something. Well, there's a guy with a, what do you call that little thing? The little Osmo gimbal thingy. You know what? I don't care how much it costs. That's what the requirement is. I don't make the rules. I'm just telling you. Jeez Louise, man. How old are you? Vandy Dandy, how old are you? You have to put 23 something in the bank for a retirement visa at 50. Okay, but he's not 50. So how old are you? That's my point. How old are you? Andy, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. I plan on waiting until Thailand gets their sheet together or I can pay them off. Oh my God. Dude, you're an idiot. I'm sorry. You're an idiot. You know what it is? You don't have the money. You're 36 and you must not have the money because it's not that much money for somebody who really wants to be here. Really, you just need to get your shit together yourself. Thailand doesn't need to get their shit together. You sound exactly like the guy that said, oh, they're kicking me out. They're kicking me out. No, they're not kicking you out. You don't want to put the money into a retirement visa. This is the other guy. He didn't want to put his money into a retirement visa. And they said, well, then you're going to have to get some other kind, like an education visa. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Well, you don't want to, then guess what? They're not kicking you out. They're not kicking you out at all. It's you don't want to do what is necessary to live here. Go look at other countries. Okay, then go somewhere else then. I mean, what? I don't understand. What is the problem? If you got all this money, then go somewhere else. I mean, okay, so go somewhere else. I don't understand. What's the problem? You have all this money. Go to Ecuador. With that kind of money, you go to Ecuador. Go to Ecuador. Go to Portugal. Go to Costa Rica. Go to Panama. You got all these places to go, and you don't want to go to any of them because you don't work or whatever it is. I don't know. I have no idea. But to me, it's idiotic. Good deal, Andy. Glad to hear it. Broke workers. I don't work. What are you talking about, man? Thailand doesn't only want broke workers. You know, that's the thing with people. They make all these assumptions. You make assumptions. And you know what they say about somebody who makes assumptions? And quite frankly, listen, I've been here. I'm not rich and I'm not poor, but I live a good life. How come I can do it? Oh, I'm so smart? I don't think so. No offense to myself, but you know, I don't really think I'm all that intelligent. There are plenty. Get the elite visa. You don't have to work. Jesus Christ. There's always somebody like you. You think you need to get you're going to get everything for free and you're not. Thailand is not. Thailand doesn't give a shit if you come or not. That's the bottom line. They don't care. They really don't care. What is it? 600,000, 650,000 for bronze, 900 for gold, which is what, 5 years? So that's the 5 year one. For 10 years, it's 1 point, what is it? 1.5. Diamond is no, 20 years. Let me see something here. Oh yeah, let's see here. Okay, 1 point platinum 10 years, 1.5, diamond 15 years. Oh, 2.5. So you're complaining about paying $19,000. You're complaining about that. You know you're going to put money in the bank. You're going to have to put a large sum more than that in the bank if you're a retiree. You know you can come in on an education visa. That's all you have to do. Get an education visa, get an elite visa, do whatever you got to do. You could do it. You don't need to work on an education visa. Yeah, and that's the other thing. You could come here for 3 months, go to the Philippines, go to Cambodia, go wherever you want for 3 months, go to Malaysia, and you come back here for 3 months. You could do that if you want. In fact, you could stay here for 6 months and then go to another country for 3 months and then come back here. Listen, I don't know. All I got to say is if you don't want those options, then you don't want to come here. Oh my God, that's rubbish, dude. You're so full of rubbish. So full of it. You don't know what you're talking about, pal. Hey, TkyoSam, how you doing? Oh God. Yeah. Listen, dude, come talk to me when you really want to move here. You're 36. You got all these things. Oh, I'm rich. I don't need to work. I've got so much money. I'm this. I'm that. I haven't seen one thing that shows that you're ready to move here. Well, then what's the problem? If you're already here, why do you even say anything? If you're here, you don't need me. You don't need to talk to me. You don't need to talk to us about this. You're already here. Well, you don't have a visa. You're a tourist here. Come on, man. Best dad in Asia. Well, I'm about to go be a dad in a couple of minutes here. I got to go talk to my son. They're bothering me now. I told them I won't be there until 10:45, and you know, the immigration said I need a visa last time at DMK. Oh, God. So what kind of visa do you have now? You have you have no visa? With many, I think that Thailand is begging them to come and live here. Thailand could give a rat's ass. That's true. Please stop being the best man ever to live. Thank you. Thank you for calling me the best man, even though I'm not really. Yeah, listen, dude, it's so simple. Well, then if you qualify, then why don't you do it? All right, listen, I'm done talking to you. I don't want to talk to you anymore. You got every excuse in the book. Oh, I'm here. Oh, then, listen, you're not willing to do an elite visa. You're not willing to do an education visa. You're not willing to come in and out of the country. So be one of these guys who comes on to, I don't care how old you are, dude. It doesn't matter. That is, why don't you understand that is, ma'am, it's not, what the hell is this? It is not, sir. Oh, Jesus Christ. Here we go. Why is this not updating? I don't understand. Yeah, he's a troll. He's an idiot. He's either an idiot or he's a troll. Anyway, thank you very much, gentlemen. We can all start a petition to send the government to change the visa process. For the Zoom business call, I'm on to start. Okay, what's up today? I got to go back to see my kid. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I don't know why this is all locked up. It's really weird. Okay, Dale, or Tim, rather, you take it easy. Appreciate you signing up. Um, well, you don't live here. You say you're here, but you don't live here. If you lived here, you'd have a visa. You wouldn't need to be crying for a visa. We're talking about this Vandy Dandy guy. Is fiber important? I believe so. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is my internet is quite good. And we have plenty of fruit and veg down in the south. We're all right with that. What is this douchebag? Oh God. Listen, here's the thing. Let me just tell you something. If you're here and you don't have a 1-year visa, then you need to get one in order to live here legally. Well, that's good, Sam. You shouldn't. Um, if you have a 1-year visa, you don't need to talk to me about this, at least. If you don't have one, then go get a 1-year visa. And if you're not old enough, then get an elite visa, get an ED visa. Other than that, shut the fuck up. That's all I got to say. You've been on here before, but I guess you're a troll. Processed food, I try not to. No, I try not to have processed food in the house. In fact, I try not to even have like salami and sausages and all this kind of stuff because they've got all kinds of salt and sulfites and all this stuff in there. I try to get like very fresh stuff that's isn't processed. Hate to tell you that, Sammy. Look it all up. Listen, he's just a dumb fuck. Okay, just ignore him. Yeah, you should Google it, man. Google processed meats, ham, salami, bologna, all that kind of stuff. Most of it has too much sodium in it. Eggs are good. Eggs are good for you. Milk is good, but I would say for you, if you want to lose, don't drink too much milk. Fish is good as long as it's not fried, you know. Today I'm fasting, just like I did 2 days ago. I just want to get the metabolism rolling. You're such a smart guy, aren't you? I can tell you one thing. I'm definitely not on a fucking diet of going to the getting chips and soda and all this other bullshit. I thought that Vanderbilt existed to improve the GPA of all other SEC schools. This is not a fair representation. I don't eat the only fish I really eat in Thailand is salmon, and once in a great while I'll eat some of their local fish, but not very often. I eat shrimp, I eat canned tuna, I eat canned sardines or canned mackerel. So he's got the Osmo 3. It looks pretty nice. I love scallops. It depends. Thai food can have fish in it. It can have shrimp, it can have clams, it can have all kinds of things. Oh, scallops are so good, man. I love them. I love scallops. Oh, man. Let me tell you something. In Vietnam, I had some cheese scallops, which I've never had before. They were fantastic. And then I had in Thailand, I've had lots of like nice, big, just they melt in your mouth, the salmon. Good stuff. Love all that stuff. God, this place is packed, man. Quite packed. All right, listen. Do me a favor, one more time. Smash the like button. If you have not subscribed already, please do so. I did not know that. Glad to hear it. Smash or pass, yes. Um, Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Become a member of the channel. I know that's asking a lot. $1.99. It's big money. Um, you can use the Cash App and Patreon, Patreon, and all these other things to show the love, or you just keep watching. Whatever is your choice, you keep on doing. Um, and then, we'll take it from there. Yeah, well, you might be sniffing too if the air was 250 or whatever it is. I'm breaking the bank here, supporting you, Scott. Thank you. Sure you are. 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 I haven't done blow in years, okay? But come here and see what your nose is like. And lots of I have allergies, and the stuff that goes in my nose, it's all dirt from the pollution. So anyway, thank you very much, Randy Dandy. Oh, it was such a pleasure talking to you. Anyway, so we're all done. that is the end. What is this? What's on the food menu this month? All right, Andy, take it easy. Be well. I'm fasting today. Money. Yeah. And watch how many guys they come here with money and they end up with none. They need smarts. That's the thing. They need smarts. They need smarts. They need to be self-sufficient. And there are many things that comprise being self-sufficient here and back home, wherever you may be. So anyway, thank you very much. Appreciate it. And I'm Scott. I am an American in Bangkok. I will see you when I see you. I got to go to the hospital, take care of business. Sammy, thanks for coming in. I hate Pat Crapel. I hate it. I hate it, man. Honestly, I can't stand it. But I can make it very easily, and I just don't like it. Sammy, you take care. MGTOW, Exeter, Robert, Jim, everybody, Andy, thank you very much. I will see you when I see you, which I'm not sure when it'll be. Lots of things going on now, but I got to get out of here. So I'll talk to you guys later. Ciao. Yeah, Pet Capel. Ugh, no, thank you. I'd rather have Pad Thai. Thank you.